Tonight's stories, confessions,
Pokemon,
creepy.
Charges.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comfort Level Podcast. I'm Maddie, and I'm here with just the two of us. Just the two of us. Where's Sam at?
So my dearest cousin is under the weather today. You know.
Might as well be busy. Always busy. Can't show up to the shoot.
Always busy. No.
When Brandon couldn't show up, it was busy. Now Sam can show up. He's sick.
No, we gotta spread love. Like Sam will probably like feed into it. I'm here to spread love. You know, stuff happens, life happens. Just to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're, just doing the best self-care, like subscribing to this channel.
That's the best self-care anybody
That's like
could
the
do.
best self-care. And then,
when I subscribed to this channel, when I tell you my self-care went up so much.
Oh my God, it was like a spa day. I was like,
and
period.
The next time I liked this episode, oh my God.
Oh wow.
There was healing. There was healing.
There is healing in the room. Leave us a comment to, cheer up Sam in the comments. Just send my cousin some love. Yeah.
Which we're going to be live streaming tomorrow if you see this.
Ooh.
This is being posted on Friday. And that's one of our confessions is we're live streaming tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like this first story. I'm over here pressing. It's behind me. I'm like, ba, 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 like I make mistakes, like, ba, 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 ba.
I feel the ghost of Sam just grab my shirt like he can't keep doing this.
My best friend confessed to my boyfriend of 3 years, and now he's confused.
Ooh.
I, 24 female, thought my best friend, 25 female, and I were tight. But last week, she sat my boyfriend down, 25 male, and said she's been in love with him for years. He told me immediately, which I appreciated, but then he dropped a bombshell saying he needs some space to think about his feelings. What feelings? We've been together for 3 years, and I thought we were solid. My friend and I have known each other since high school, and I've never saw this coming. Now she's texting me saying she's sorry, but had to be honest about her feelings. I don't know what to do. Do I confront her, give him the space he's asking for, or do I just walk away from both of them? I feel so blindsided.
Okay. So my sleuth brain is already starting to kick in.
Why does he need to think?
Not even why does he need to think. What type of environment's happening where that can get cultivated for both sides?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If it was one-sided, it would make sense. If you guys were like hanging out in a group of three and it's like, oh, it's the three best friends that
anybody could have, but one best friend has a crush on the other.
And it's madly in love with your boyfriend. And it's mutual seemingly.
That's what I'm saying. Of like, why is he like, I just need to think.
Yeah. There's something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
1,000%. So walk away from both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's the best thing to do. Because
that's got to be crazy though. Because if you were to ever have any falling out with your partner, you would talk to your friends about it. Mm-hmm. Or if you were to have a friend falling out, you would talk to your boyfriend about it. But who do you talk to when your best friend and your boyfriend seemingly have brought something up? Whether they're admitting to something or maybe just feelings behind the scenes, who do you talk to? Well, I guess Reddit. But I was like, who do you talk to when, your two closest people, there might be something going on or there's like, why do you need a second guess? Like, why are you thinking about that?
Yeah.
She seems to be okay with putting her friendship or this potential love interest over her friendship, which she says she's known her since she was in high school, I think. And they're 24, 25.
Mm-hmm. That's oof. Because it's not even I have to think about it.
And the thing is too, it's like I can get how like some people can catch, like you're saying, some people can catch feelings.
Yeah.
And it's a problem where it's mutual, but also like you caught feelings, and instead of being like, I need to separate myself because I might be ruining my best friend's healthy relationship of 3 years. I could see where maybe it's like, okay, it's broken up and maybe I'm not as close to this friend as I thought anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe after a period of time, something happens and it's like, there's so much more like different circumstances in that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a healthy relationship with your best friend. You tell your best friend's boyfriend, who they also have a very healthy relationship. But I think it's the fact that he's thinking about it where it is like raising eyebrows too. Like what you were saying and what Top Comment is saying is, wow, you walk away from both of them. Like easy as that.
It has to be done because there is a level, probably a boundary that was crossed.
Yeah.
Whether it be harmless and the harm starts to seep in, there's a boundary that's been crossed. Mm-hmm. For him to, not only her to be like, I have feelings for your boyfriend, but him also to be questioning it. Something happened behind the scenes, whether it was late night conversations, text here and there, or like you were saying, he was going to her to vent about problems they were having. Mm-hmm. Whew, that's bad. Like she should probably like check the phone, make sure he's not like playing Pokemon Go out here.
Like this next story. Something easy, something to ease our way through.
Yeah.
My boyfriend got me Pokemon for Christmas and I can't let it go. Do I call it quits or work it out?
I gotta know his plan. I gotta know the plan. That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so for context, my boyfriend, 30 male, and I, 26 female, have been together for 3 years. Since I've known him, he has always loved Pokemon. Personally, I have no interest, but as his partner, I encourage his hobbies and support him. This past Christmas, we had a few brief conversations about Christmas budgets and have mentioned to each other things that we have been wanting. I knew Pokemon packs were on the top of his list, so I made sure to get him some. I mentioned wanting a few beauty products and a specific hoodie. Well, Christmas comes around, and to my surprise, I opened my gifts. The first one was a pack of Pokemon cards. Okay, whatever. The next one was a booster box of Pokemon cards. No. I stop and ask him, is he joking? Because this must be a joke, right? Well, he smirks and tells me, keep going. I open my gift. It was another booster box of Pokemon cards. He was full of excitement while I opened my gifts. Those were my 3 gifts. I am not and have never been interested in Pokemon. After this, I told him I needed a moment to myself. I went to our bedroom and took a moment to gather my thoughts and lower my temper. When I came back to the living room, there he was on the floor. Both booster packs and the pack of cards he got me were open and sprawled across the floor. I was in shock. Not only did he get me the gifts that I didn't want, but he actually got them for himself and tried to play it off. I have been trying to move past this as I did not want to seem ungrateful, but I just can't believe he would do something like this. Every time I have tried to bring it up, he has told me how expensive these booster boxes were and how I made him feel bad for not appreciating my gifts. Am I being ungrateful or is he just a jerk?
No.
You are not being ungrateful.
You are not being ungrateful. That's crazy. This reminds me of the story we did a couple weeks ago with the woman in the purse.
Yeah.
But this is worse than that because at least with the woman with the purse, it was like he was a bad gift giver. That was his main thing. He was a bad gift giver. He didn't pay attention in the relationship. That was a whole nother thing. But he was a bad gift giver. From the looks of it, this guy could have been a good gift giver, but he just bought gifts for himself.
I think it's similar to the whole situation with the purse because I think they're both could be bad gift givers, but also just genuinely not caring enough to give any type of effort in the relationship. Because with both situations, like OP in the last one, she was like, I want this purse and this purse only. That's all I want. With this one, OP gave him specific gift ideas. So it's a matter of buying it, wrapping it, and then presenting it. Like she has an idea of what she would be getting if you didn't want to think harder about what they would want. You're like, okay, this is something they would for sure like. And he didn't do that. Like, he was so lazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the word is selfish, but
No,
him also like getting a gift for her and like being excited for the gift. Like, when you give a gift, most people are excited to see the other person's reaction because they're like, I know they're going to love this. They're going to love this. This is exactly what they asked for. It's easy on me. Boom. They have it. I think that's kind of crazy to open a gift that you would want and that I would want to you. And you open it and you're like, I don't play The Sims. And I'm like,
well,
you do now. But you didn't before. Let me think of something you do that I don't. You're like, I got you like 5 like book series, like romantic. Yeah, enemies to lovers, romantic books. And I'm like, I got you 5 of them. Don't worry, it's the whole series. You're like, I don't want this. I'm like, I could take them off your hands for you. It's like, well, why didn't I just buy this for myself at a different time and get a different gift for you? I think it's like selfish, like, okay, selfishness then, and laziness, and 3 years into a relationship. I don't know. I kind of feel like to a certain extent when it comes to relationships, it's easy to degrade. So like when you're in a relationship with somebody, they're going to give you their best at the beginning. And then over time, it's naturally going to fall off. And then you guys make the work to be like, hey, I've noticed this. Or like, yeah, I've noticed this about myself. I'm going to work on it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you choose over time to be like, okay, so this is the best that they can give me. Is this okay with what I want? Like, are they growing? Because not everybody grows. And 3 years in, and he's still like this, like, I don't really know why you would expect it to change. I feel like you're just going to keep having disappointments. And for him to also make you feel ungrateful.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. And I think that was the thing that we kind of figured out about the purse one, which I'm putting it on this one. When we read these like gift stories, I'm never like, it's just the gift. It's always something deeper that the gift represents.
Wait, like, go ahead, keep going. Yeah, sorry.
Like, for this one in particular, the gift is not, it's not the fact that he got Pokemon cards. It's the fact that he wasn't paying attention enough to get her something she liked, or ignored what she liked and gave him something. This guy. Anyway. What do you got to say for yourself, man?
Really? You're going to clean your feet off? Wipe? Okay.
I felt that, actually. Something hit me. He said, I said, all right. Now he got it, for real. That's all him.
Anyway, you were saying? It's always more than the gift.
So with these stories that, because we've had a lot of gift stories recently, I feel like.
Christmas.
Well, yeah, duh. But it's never just the gift. It's all, the gift represents something deeper in the relationship that's happening. So like, for instance, with the OP with the purse, it wasn't the fact that he got the purse and gave it away. It was the fact that she didn't feel like he cared enough. That's what it represented. She didn't feel like she cared enough, and she was becoming an option to kind of be ignored in a sense.
Yeah, or like not worth getting a gift for.
Yeah.
You know, like not appreciated in the relationship.
With this one.
I was talking about the Pokemon one. Sorry. Well, I guess both.
Yeah. Well, this one, I feel it could be a plethora of things. It could be what you were saying, but it also could be him just blatantly ignoring, not even listening. I want this to be done. Okay. Does the complete opposite. These stories always interest me in a way, because it's the gift is the tipping point, and I try not to get hung up on what happens. More so, there's a deeper reason why. Because there's a deeper reason why you're like, I'm going to be done with this relationship. There's always a deeper reason. because the first time you do something in a relationship, you can work through it. I think that's kind of a general consensus for a lot of people for different scenarios. Like when we had an argument the first time and it was more a matter of communication. It was a big mess up on my part, but it wasn't anything.
It was like on both parts, I would say.
Yeah, it wasn't anything to be like, oh, yeah, we're done. But I could see where other people are like, yeah, that's it.
Well, I think also with a gift example, there's like a few times a year where I think there are certain like, you know, reasons or excuses where every once in a while it's okay. But there are like certain times a year where you're kind of supposed to kind of give your partner a little bit extra. Like there's certain holidays during the year. There's birthdays. There's if you celebrate Christmas, Valentine's Day, even if it's like little things depending on what you guys agree upon. But there's like little opportunities to give your partner gifts throughout the year. And because also partners could just be giving gifts throughout the year. People do that. People just give gifts. People buy food, you know, whatever way that they show their partner love. They do that throughout the, like write notes. They do it throughout the year. But it's like kind of in a way, not bare minimum, but like it's standard to be like, hey, I'm going to give you a gift usually around this time of the year, unless it's otherwise spoken for, or it's like one-off year of like, hey, I'm gonna be late to give you this gift, but I'm thinking about you. I know it's that day, you know? Yeah. Like this year, when it came to Christmas, I was late with almost everybody giving Christmas gifts. And I said, it's coming, but it's not here right now. Okay. Yeah. And then I think with you were kind of the same thing where you were going to be late, but you're like, no, I want to give you a gift on the day. So it's different depending on the person. Yeah. But, you know, it's like, it's a great opportunity. There's all these different holidays throughout the year as an opportunity for people to show how much they love you through gifts or like other ways of showing love. And the fact that he had that opportunity, he chose to do it. You guys chose to do that. And he got a gift for himself. I just really think it might be time for you to really evaluate that relationship and how much it benefits you compared to benefiting him. Yeah. Because that man's selfish.
He is.
It doesn't have to be a gift. It could literally, if it was her birthday, have been a dinner like this next story, and he didn't even do that. See how I slowly went over there, pressed the correct button so nobody gets upset.
Give yourself an applause for that.
Am I the asshole for ruining my boyfriend's birthday dinner because I didn't accept to pay for everyone?
No.
I, 20 female, have been dating my boyfriend, Ryan, 21 male, for about a year. For his birthday this year, I wanted to do something special, so I told him I'd take him out to a nice dinner. Just the two of us, and I'd cover the bill. He was super excited and agreed. So I made a reservation at a nice restaurant, put on a nice dress, and was excited to see his reaction. And when I got there, I was surprised to see that Ryan had invited his best friend, who also arrived with his girlfriend. He hadn't mentioned anything about them coming. I was caught off guard, but I thought, why not have a nice couple dinner? The whole time, his best friend and his girlfriend order a ton of appetizers and multiple drinks each. I started panicking a little because I realized this bill was going to be more than I'd planned for. Towards the end, Ryan leaned over and said, "Don't forget, you said you'd cover it." And I told him I agreed to pay for his dinner because of his birthday and not for another couple. I didn't even know they were coming. He said it's rude to invite people to dinner and not pay for them. At this point, I already thought, what the fuck was wrong with you? And I told him it's ruder to invite people to a dinner that someone else is paying for without telling them first. I already had the feeling to explode out of anger, so I just went quiet and waited for the waiter to finally pay. When the check came, I paid for my meal and his, and told his buddy that he should cover the bill for himself and his girlfriend. Both of them looked at me as if I insulted them in some way, saying I embarrassed them in front of the server. In addition to that, Ryan even called me cheap and said I ruined his dinner. All this happened last Saturday, and since then he's been giving me the cold shoulder and just answering my messages with insulting me for embarrassing him in front of his friend. Now I'm thinking about breaking up because he hasn't talked to me for a week, even though I wanted to apologize. Maybe some of you have any advice for me?
Get to stepping. Yeah.
Tell him to get to step in.
Yeah, well, I said that and I was like, wait, no, like it usually has a negative connotation, but I'm saying like you just go ahead, go on now. No further transactions here, buddy. Mm-hmm. You gotta get out of here, Jack.
I wonder how Ryan would feel when he would never offer to pay for her dinner, I don't feel like, but I wonder how he would feel if hypothetically he would offer to pay for her dinner and then she invited 2 friends. I think he would feel the exact way and not call her cheap, barato.
Yeah.
Lilingual.
Yeah. Barato.
And she definitely called him out though when she said it's more rude to invite people to a dinner and not tell the person paying for it that you're inviting people.
I was like,
yeah.
That's
it right there, girly.
Mm-hmm. Because also, what were the friends doing? Like, what were their friends' reaction? I would have tried to make it not a big deal if I was a friend. Like, oh yeah, no problem. Like, I was not expecting you to pay.
I think they knew. I think he told his friend, hey, so she's paying for it. Because the way that they were racking up the drinks, racking up the appetizers, they thought they were going to get a free meal. And that is the opposite of the way that you should act if you know you're getting a free meal.
Have some decorum.
Have some manners.
Oh my gosh. And
you didn't even know that she didn't even know you were coming and you're the one racking up the bill. And then, I mean, there's no accountability in that friendship though, because you can tell they definitely talked about I just feel like they talked about it. And then, which is why he felt so emboldened to order and the girlfriend to order appetizers and drinks. You know?
That's rude. That is, because even when people are paying for me, I don't go crazy.
Yeah.
I get a meal I like, but I'm not going to break the bank.
And I feel like there's been times where you and I have splurged before of like, hey, I'm getting the bill, but I'm trying to splurge. I tell you that. And I feel like even then, like people usually like only match. Well, I don't know. Like there have been times we get tacos and you get 3 and I'm like, I want 4. And you're like, that's fine. But then there's other times where we go band for band. And whatever I get, if I get an appetizer, he said, I'll take an appetizer as well. We can go M for M.
That was good. That was a good one. I like that. That made me feel good inside.
A little red, but
we can go band for band. I said, wait, that's what I say.
But yeah.
That was I don't know. That just shook my world.
But we do. But that's discussed beforehand. And the person paying for it is like whenever I do that and I'm like, I'm paying for it, I'm like giving you the communication of like, hey, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah. Or, well, I also think we have just a different level of communication because there's sometimes I'll be talking to my friends and like, you said that to her? Or
wait, like what? I'm curious.
Like on the days where it's like we're going out to eat, but don't go crazy.
Yeah.
You said that to me. You're like, hey, we're getting food, but don't go crazy. And I was like, yeah, we say that to each other.
Oh,
because it's like, I'm not trying to break your bank.
Because I'm like, I feel like you've never said that to me, but I definitely have said that to you before.
Yeah.
I'm like, chill out.
Yeah, it's like, just don't. hey, we
I have 20 total.
We balling on that budget today.
Yeah, because sometimes we're balling and then other times we're balling on a budget. And maybe if I was better about it, we could always be in the middle of that. But no, I'm like, no. Yeah.
A little 20 piece.
Yeah.
From McDonald's.
Nope.
$5.
Nope.
Okay.
It's a 4-piece from Cane's box combo. Sub the coleslaw for an extra sauce, and I'll get a root beer no ice. Thank you so much. But that's like $17 where we live.
Yeah.
So it's like a $40 meal. Okay, so top comment. Not the asshole. Your boyfriend, his friend, and his friend's girlfriend are shitty, and you need to reevaluate whether or not your boyfriend cares about you or if he's just using you because they are very rude and presumptuous on all 3 of their parts. Now he isn't talking to you at all. Well, he has made it pretty clear that the only part about you he cares about, which is clearly the part that financially benefits him and his friends. Fuck all of them. You're better off now. You're too young to waste time on people who treat you like this. And then OP responded, "Thank you for your perspective. It really helped. You're right. His behavior was disrespectful, and it feels like him and his friends took advantage of me. I wanted to make his birthday special, but instead he called me cheap and hasn't spoken to me since. I realize now I shouldn't waste my time on someone who doesn't value me. It's time to focus on myself and find someone who treats me better."
I don't know what the sense of entitlement on this guy is, to the point where you give a cold shoulder to your girlfriend after not doing something that you did not already pre-discuss with her.
Yeah, you're not entitled to that from her.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting to me. I don't like that at all, actually, because it's one thing, not even saying it's right, but when he was upset, be upset, fine, whatever. But get over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also feel like potentially to like a younger person, you know, he might be testing the waters to see if that's okay for him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of will I be able to like show her how I want to be treated and how I want to treat her, and like using like a manipulative tactic and trying to make her feel bad, and yeah. Just not speaking to her anymore, the silent treatment. Mm-mm. Oh, you don't want to talk to me, so we don't have to be in a relationship anymore then. If you don't want to work it out, you want to treat me this way, especially after OP was saying she like might be thinking differently about the situation with top commenter. Perfect. That's fine.
Yeah.
We were only together for a year.
Mm-hmm. And get some people in your corner, man.
Yeah.
Somebody that's outside of the situation and look at it and be like, that is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is the one thing that kind of scares me about some of these stories, is just knowing the simple fact that sometimes people are going to Reddit because it is their last resort.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are going to Reddit because it's their first hope.
Yeah.
Or their first set of different eyes. And I mean, as we get into some of these comments, you know, some of them are like kind of damaging.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to relationship advice, because people are so quick to throw people away. And on top of that, you can only give so much of your story. Not saying that for this one, but just like in general. So you get a very volatile community to talk about something.
Well, I think it's like, so the book that me and Sam have read that he couldn't stop talking about, the Four Agreements. I think to a certain extent, it is good. You do need a certain type of people in your corner where even if you said what you needed to say to Reddit, you can look at it with a set of, I'm not going to be hurt by what people say about me. So you have to have a really good sense of self.
Yeah.
But also, I'm going to take criticism. And I feel like sometimes when people come to Reddit, they already have like a little bit of a lower self-worth, just depending on how they let people already treat them. Mm-hmm. And so you're coming into a community where, different communities, but you're coming into a comment section where anybody, depending on how they feel that day, is going to speak about your situation. And OP could read it, you know? And so it's just, I think, important to find a good group of friends if you have it, or to have an outlet of, I'm not going to accept everything that all the Reddit comments say about me. Like the whole running joke on Reddit where they say, you know, and then they got divorced or break up.
Yeah.
It's not usually that simple. Usually people want to keep the relationship going. They want to like work on it, talk it out, figure it out. There's like so many strings attached. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I just think it's better to be a little bit more careful, because I feel like a lot of people might be coming to Reddit with like vulnerabilities, and the people that not everybody responding to their stories are going to have their best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. They don't know you. You don't know them. And so they might be typing with venom and you don't know that. And then you read that and you take that on as you, because you don't maybe have a good sense of self. Not necessarily saying that as OP, but like you're saying, people that come to Reddit for their first line of advice is maybe to have like, it might be good if you do that to have a sense of not like a defense mechanism, but like a sense of
non-resistance.
I already have a sense of self, so I'm not going to take everything that everyone has to say and believe that everyone has goodwill.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's necessarily negative, but like, I'm not going to take everything that you have to say about me as fact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look through it. I'm going to see if I can use something from it. But I need to have a certain opinion about myself before I even go looking into the comments, or else I could really hurt myself even further when I'm already lower than I usually am, you know?
Yeah. No, that's not a bad thing. Non-resistance is honestly how you should live life.
What is non-resistance?
Like those non-resistant clothing, like when they're like wet resistant.
Uh-huh.
It's called the law of non-resistance, but it's pretty much kind of, I guess, what you guys would talk about, like having the sense of self. But it's if somebody's to throw something at you,
it slides right off.
It just slides right off. It doesn't stick to you unless you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's primarily just going to slide off.
Yeah. This last story is relationship advice. This guy that I am dating is learning ASL for my brother, but my friends think it's creepy. How do I proceed?
That's not creepy.
Yeah. I, 21 female, met John, 22 male, in a college class last semester. He's an overall great guy, and he's very respectful and kind. He also has a great sense of humor, and we have a lot of similar interests. We've been friends since then, and we started dating this July. He's the first person I've ever dated in my life. Last September, he met my brother when I visited home for my brother's birthday. My brother, Trev, 19 male, has been deaf since birth. So my whole family communicates with each other through sign language, Trev's lip reading that we still sign as a reflex, or through text. During our small celebration at home, it was clear that my parents liked John. He was very charming, funny, and respectful. He even tried to connect with Trev by typing some of his jokes for Trev to read, although my brother could read lips as well. Whenever John would tell a story, either I or my parents would sign for Trev. My parents say they're happy that I found a sweet and caring guy in John. Of course, I'm glad to hear this. Before we went back, John and Trev had a quick Call of Duty gaming session.
Hey.
For someone with Trev's condition, he is a really talkative guy, LOL. He's very expressive and likes to communicate a lot, especially when gaming. Of course, he couldn't outright trash talk, but he does the closest thing with his hands. So there we were, in Trev's room with John and Trev playing while I was translating for them. I was laughing way too hard because Trev was trying his best to trash talk John, like saying he's weak and trying to say all these expletives, but I'm trying my best to tone it down for John. Meanwhile, I'm translating John's instructions and strategies for Trev. Also, because this was the first time John met my family, he was saying all these praises to Trev, like good job or we can do better next time. Although I know that deep inside, he also wants to trash talk my brother. The two of them got along pretty well, and they've been having some online gaming sessions since then. 2 weeks ago, John visited home along with me again for my mom's birthday. There, he surprised everyone, including me, by communicating with Trev through ASL. John was still at the alphabets, some basic words, and some rehearsed phrases, but we were all delighted that he even made the effort. Trev's face lit up, and I've never seen him happier having a new long-term friend with low communication barriers. Apparently, John had been watching some YouTube tutorials and even got a free subscription to Skillshare to learn ASL.
Oh.
The two of them had a gaming session again, and this time, John and Trev could communicate more directly. Of course, it was still kind of slow, and I still had to do some translating. Imagine trying to baby talk to a grown man or talking to a caveman with choppy sentences, lol. But I could tell Trev was having a great time. They also got more comfortable with each other with more explicit trash talking, which I didn't tone down this time. John had been religiously learning ASL since then, and he's been making a lot of progress. I was so happy with this, so I told my close friend group from high school. However, most of my friends, especially my closest guy friend, told me that what John was doing was a red flag because it could be a form of obsession and emotional manipulation. He also said it was creepy because John's becoming too attached to my family when we've only been dating for about 5 months. He also said that John might only be doing it so he can get laid or something. I know there's some validity to what my friend said, but I'm not really convinced. John has been a wonderful and sincere guy the entire time, and I know it's naive to say this because he's my first ever relationship, but I can see this becoming long term. Yes, we haven't hooked up yet because I told him I wasn't ready yet, and he never pressured me to do it. However, is his behavior something I should really be concerned about? Again, I don't have any experience with dating and relationships, so I don't know if this is something that's truly concerning. My friends are pushing for me to break up with John, but I'm not sure. How do I proceed with this? And then there's edits and updates.
The friend group seems like they hating.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I got a little bit of like an alert when she said my male friends. Because I'm like, does he have a crush on you or anything like that? Basically being so negative, John, because the way that it's been explained so far, I'm like, John's a good guy.
Yeah.
There's like, I know some people can potentially fake stuff like that, but I think things like that of going through so much effort to learn something, not even directly for you, but to communicate again with your family, your brother specifically, I think that's really sweet. And if somebody truly didn't care about you, they wouldn't feel the need or the want to do that. And so I think that's just another sign that he is somebody who wants to be in your life, who genuinely cares about you, who treats you well. And it's just really weird that your friends who have never met this person are like, I don't know, that's weird. That's not weird. We already pointed out, You think it's weird because he learned ASL to communicate with my brother. That's not weird. That sentence in and of itself. Unless they know something that we don't.
Yeah, that was going to be my only thing. When two guys are in the same present. Well, they haven't even met physically, have they?
No.
Okay. No, never mind. Because I was going to say, there's some times where, like, I've met some of my friends, like, guys they're interested in, or some guys will tell me, I'm like, they're interested in one of my girlfriends. And I'll be like, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'll straight up be, because either I know about the guy or I don't know, it's like a vibe. It's like you could tell, like, you're fully not in that. But if y'all never met, like, in person, if they don't actually know anything about this guy, I think the thing that's also tipping me off is he's like, y'all have only been dating for 5 months. He's getting really close to your family. It's like, ooh, okay.
I have to quote somebody who I really don't agree with, but in this instance, from Mr. Chris Breezy. Why are you hating from outside of the club when you can't even get in?
You can't even get in. Family don't even know your first name, buddy.
And seemingly, because they're high school friends, she's never thought about you like that. If that's what this is.
You playing the wrong
certified hater.
He the biggest hater, but not like the Kendrick Lamar hate.
No,
just hating. Because Kendrick Lamar made hating cool.
Yeah, he did. Because but there's like a certain thing in like people where they're like, yeah, I do hate the way that some people walk, the way that they talk. But it's like you're like, you hate the way he does ASL.
You hate how close he's getting
to her brother.
To the family. That's crazy.
You hate how much he's a light in her life.
Sounds like jealousy, buddy.
Sounds like you got a big green monster on your shoulder to worry about. And yeah, his name is Jealousy.
No.
Edit number 2. A lot of your insights have been truly eye-opening, and it really looks like I've got a lot of reflection to do with my relationships and connections.
Oh.
And top comment, your friends are thieves of joy. A guy that likes you is going out of his way to learn how to communicate with your brother. That's adorable. Don't let your friends shit on it. And then another person said, they're also angry that he's making them look bad. You have close friends you've known for years, and they've never made the effort to learn some ASL to talk with your brother. Nice friends. Update. To begin, many Redditors said that my high school friends are conniving, untrustworthy, and ableist people who have never bothered learning ASL despite knowing me for a long time. I take accountability for this. I'm not saying they're blameless, but it's not entirely their fault. For some context, our family moved to our area when I was in my senior year of high school due to my dad's job. The friend group, 2 guys plus 2 girls before I joined, was already tight when I came in. They then took me in after we got grouped together for a school project, and they've been with me since then. We've been friends for about 4 years now. They're not exactly saints, but they've helped me survive my senior year in one piece. They're fun to hang out with, and they were the support I needed when I was struggling. Also, during that time, my brother was having an especially hard time adjusting because of his disability. So my friends never really saw Trev a lot. To be clear, I was never ashamed of Trev. It's just that whenever my friends came over, he either locked himself in his room or was in a different area with his tutor and never really interacted with us. Whenever he does come out, he's really shy and awkward, so my friends mostly just got glimpses of him. By the time Trev became more comfortable in our area and found his own circle, my friends and I had already graduated from high school and don't really hang out regularly anymore. They're friendly and polite with Trev, but then again, they never interacted as much to the point of them actually needing to learn ASL for him. Now for the update. Last week, my friend group had our year-ender party, and I decided to bring John along to meet the rest of my friends. My other friend in the group also brought his girlfriend, so this wasn't really weird. Others have done so in the past as well. I've commented in the previous post that John had only met my closest guy friend, I'll call him Mike, 21 male, so I wanted the rest of them to form their own opinions of John after they met him. Initially, there was some tension and awkwardness from my friend group towards John. They were a bit cold and they were throwing some harsh remarks toward him. Eventually, though, they all warmed up to him and they were actually pleasantly surprised by his personality. We all got along well, and we even had fun in our games. However, I could tell that there was still some awkward tension coming from Mike towards John and the rest of our group. He was throwing meaner jokes than usual, and he's kind of isolating himself with the activities. The day after the party, I had lunch with my closest girlfriend, Sophie, 21 female, to clear the air because I could tell they could also sense something was off. A lot of Redditors speculated that Mike had a crush on me and was jealous of my relationship with John. Turns out you're 10,000% correct, but it's a lot more complicated than that. Apparently, Mike had a crush on me since our senior year in high school. However, he's known in our school as a notorious ladies' man and has a new girl with him almost every month. This got exponentially worse during college. He had different hookups almost every night, and he even had a pregnancy scare with a girl last year. I knew all about this because he bragged about sleeping around every time we met up. What I didn't know was the entire time Mike was also making up fake stories about me and him. Sophie told me that apparently Mike and I had a pact that if we were still single when we were 30, we'd marry each other. Also, he told our friend group that we hooked up after graduation. What, you don't want the truth to come out? Do you have a problem with the truth? Also, he told our friend group that we hooked up after graduation.
You lying demon.
And that he took my virginity then.
You lying demon.
So he is my special person, whatever that means. He also told them that we've been secretly hooking up consistently throughout college. For context, Mike and I go to different universities that are just about 30 minutes apart. Lastly, Mike told them that I said that I'm in love with him. He told our friends not to tell me anything so I don't get embarrassed or upset, since I have this image of being somewhat of a prude.
That isn't that like negative connotation behind
Yeah,
it?
that's negative. Mike also told our friend group that when he met John, he thought John was a total jerk who has been manipulating me and taking advantage of my innocence and naivete.
And you haven't been lying? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
He said that John had been forcing himself into my family and is driving a wedge between me and my friends. Mike also said that after he had lunch with me and John, he tried to convince me to stay away from John because he's not a good influence on me. But John had effectively brainwashed me. This explains why my friend group was already so antagonistic towards John when I told them about him. For the record, none of what Mike said was true. There was no pact. We never hooked up. And I have...
You didn't have to tell us that. We all knew it was a lie.
And I have never been in love with him. After that, Sophie and I asked the rest of our friend group, except Mike, to jump on a FaceTime call with us. They all shared different versions of what Mike had told them. There were a lot more, but I disputed everything. We were all collectively shocked about everything that we learned that day. They apologized for their behavior towards me and John. I told them I understood given all the lies fed to them by Mike. Then everyone agreed to kick Mike off of the friend group. Sophie suggested that maybe we could have an intervention for Mike first, but I just said that I didn't want anything to do with him anymore. The rest of the group agreed, so we're essentially cutting him off. Sophie said that she would still talk to him just to inform him of everything that happened, but I really just wanted to distance myself from him. Now it's been a week of being Mike-free. Sophie said that when she and the other guy friend talked to Mike, he became extremely defensive, confrontational, and aggressive. He wasn't physically violent, but he was calling them names, attacked their characters, and made such awful statements about everyone in our friend group that I won't include here. It looks like cutting him off was completely the right call. Now for the more uplifting updates. After everyone's comments in my previous posts, there were a lot, I reflected on my relationship with John and my friends. I then talked to my parents for advice, since they have the best relationship I know of. They told me that from what they saw when he visited our home and how I spoke of him, it seems like John is legitimately a nice person with pure intentions. It also helps that John and I have been friends for months before we started dating, so I already knew his character even when there was less pretense of him trying to impress me. He's already impressive on his own though. I then told John about everything that happened and apologized, fully expecting him to be mad at me for doubting him and his intentions. Instead, he said he understood, because of course it was just natural for me to trust my friends and expect them to have my best interest. He then asked me if there was any point in our relationship when I felt uncomfortable or uneasy around him, and I categorically said no. I told him that he's my safe space and that he has nothing to worry about. He then reassured me that his intentions with me are genuine, and he even said that he sees a future with me, which I reciprocated. Also, John and Trev's friendship is still going strong. Trev has participated in one of John's D&D sessions with his friends, and John and I both acted as translators. We were delighted to see that most of John's friends already know the ASL alphabet. Apparently, they have even included it in the lore of their D&D campaign.
That's awesome.
Also, Trev had been asking John some tips for working out and getting fit lately since they have the same body type, but John is more toned. One of his brothers is a fitness instructor. Also, I met John's family for the first time for their annual get-together. It was super fun. There were games and contests. Also, I wasn't prepared for it, but apparently, since their mom is a theater performer and their dad is a music producer, it was their family tradition to have a talent showcase. They gave me a pass this time, but they told me I should prepare something impressive for next year. John and his brothers performed Bye 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 by NSYNC in full Deadpool, Wolverine, and Captain America costumes, while his sisters and their husbands did Defying Gravity from Wicked. Their parents did a medley from The Sound of Music. It was a total blast. I felt their family's warm welcome, and they really treated me as one of their own. I could see where John got his good values and looks from, though I think I need to start taking voice and dance lessons to keep up with them. So that's it for the update. My relationship with John is stronger than ever, and I finally know who my true friends are. If you made it this far, thank you so much for your time. Happy New Year to you all. Edit also, just had lunch with the rest of my friend group. We all compared notes about Mike's lies. Apparently, he concocted extreme fantasies about every one of us. He's been stirring unnecessary drama for years and even caused the breakup of one of our other friends with her then boyfriend. Mike also told them that apparently I threatened to cut ties with our friend group if any of my secrets came out, which was why no one really confirmed anything with me. He also said that I was having mental health issues because of it. But Mike said he's been helping me out, so there's no need for them to be concerned. Through the years, I could recall Sophie and our other friends checking up on me and making sure I'm okay without really referencing any of what Mike said. Some of their statements really didn't make sense to me at the time, but I just chalked it up to college stress. Our other guy friend also made remarks about me and Mike, but again, I chalked it off to friendly teasing. Now everything is clear to everyone, and we're all ready to move on from this. There's a lot of processing to do, but at least we now know the truth. And then top comment, they said, then everyone agreed to kick Mike out of the friend group. And they said, I believe this is called a mic drop. There's a lot to discuss.
I really wish they would have did the intervention, though. Just as a one good, stick it to the man. Because
That's disturbing.
This is the worst human being I have ever heard of. Mm-hmm. How did you concoct lies about everybody within the friend?
And also, like, all the lies that he was making about OP, how she lost her virginity to him, how they like plan on marrying each other when they get older, constantly hooking up throughout college. Like, that would be really weird to one day realize after 4 years of friendship that one of my friends was having all these different, not even like fantasies in their head, but they communicated that to everybody but me. Yeah. And everybody believes that truth but me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one thing to think it, but to actually say it, yeah, that is very disturbing.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of delusion that everybody could have in their head about somebody.
Right.
But keep that in your head. Don't say the delusion.
And you don't delude on it too much. If you can try, delude on it a little bit. Everybody's a little delulu. But then at a certain point, you're like, this is a little too delusional. I need to get back to reality.
Seek help.
Just be speaking about a person and like they never know about it for how many years? Like, so they graduated high school. He said that's when she lost her virginity to him. So most of the friendship, he's been lying about you.
Mm-hmm. And lying on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually the worst person. He is so bad.
Because I could never believe a person like that ever again.
Not only are you lying, you're manipulating and gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing all the 3 big no-nos.
Yeah.
In one sitting.
Yeah.
For like an entirety of a friendship. Actually, I'm glad they didn't do the group therapy because he got defensive and aggressive.
Yeah. Was calling everybody names.
But then, if he were to do that...
Well, yeah, to be honest...
If it was a group thing, and it's like, oh... Because I wonder if he was like calling names and saying stuff, and it was like the lies.
But to be honest, genuinely, whenever I see like a liar or somebody on a TV show... Most of the time, it's portrayed where they eventually get their comeuppance, or if it's written in a book, eventually they get their comeuppance. Mm-hmm. But really, like real liars, real gaslighters, real manipulators, they don't ever admit, even when you have them caught red-handed. Like, I think you experienced that in season 1 of Dexter. Sorry, this show we're in right now. Rita's ex-husband. He is the perfect example of like a gaslighter manipulator. He is so good at like acting like he's the victim, but also being such a perpetrator with his words. Mm-hmm. That man was pissing me off when he was speaking about Rita or like trying to get his way or trying to, change the system. I think eventually in season 2 to try and get his kids. Like, the way that he tries to manipulate and get his way, I think that's actually a really good representation of what a real manipulator, gaslighter looks like, because they never admit it. They always stay defensive. So you don't really get that moment that you really want in your head of like, admit to me that you lied and tell me why you lied. Mm-hmm. It's always, it would always be immediate defensiveness, immediate attack on something else to move away from the fact that he can't and he won't answer the true reason.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the intervention, because it was already proven, like he got verbally aggressive, but just in general, I don't think you would have got what you would have wanted.
Yeah.
From somebody like him. Who, at least from what you're speaking about, seems to lie so comfortably.
And then he could play victim. Like, you guys all ganged up on me.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That wouldn't have turned out good. Because at first I'm like, oh, yeah. Because even with the police system, like, it's kind of what you do. If you really have a problem with somebody, like, and you try to do it one-on-one, it doesn't work out, bring someone else, like a mediator, and then you guys solve it together.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's like... Yeah, no, that wouldn't have worked out. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't have worked out at all. Because they'll either get defensive, they'll deflect,
They'll always have another reason.
They always have another reason.
Yeah. Because even when like OP said at the end of the reason why nobody ever directly asked her was because he basically weaponized her as like saying she would leave the friend group or her mental health was at risk if you brought it up to her. So yeah, but I am happy that she's more confident about her relationship with John. She's getting all the good signs from people that care about her around her, that they're like, this is a good person in your life. It was nice and sweet to hear that even John's friends now are learning ASL to include Trev and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's all the stories we got.
Wow. I feel like with our episodes, we're like on topic all the time.
Yes, we're very conversational.
About the topics.
Yes, yeah.
I remember Sam get well in the comment. They're just like saying everything else.
Sam's busy, right, guys?
No, not Sam's busy. Sam get well.
Sam, why are you always so busy,
Sam,
man?
Get better.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. Trev's. Ooh.
Trev.
Trev's.
Trev. What? Trev. Yeah. Trev. Okay. Trev. Yeah. Perfect.